of what can happen when ignorance leaks too far into your mind, when you're only concerned about your belief, and you believe that everyone who does not have the same belief system as you believe they're equivalent to barbarians.
Subarno is the recipient of the Global Child Prodigy Award from Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi.
An 11-year-old who has a passion for math and science. So you might be asking, why am I giving a speech, or why did I write a book about such a subject, not math and science, but about terrorism and love for others, not based on their religion, but based on who they are? Why did I write about such a serious topic at such a young age, and why didn't I write about something related to math and science, is the question you might be asking right now. Well, first of all, I'm winging the speech, which isn't related. I'm just taking that script and completely throwing it out. But second of all, I wrote this because it is an important issue to me. As a Muslim, ever since 9/11, I've been seeing more, not just Islamophobia, but actual terrorist attacks being committed in the name of our religion. And I feel hurt or attacked by these incidents. And that's why I wanted to write this book, in order to educate others about why this happens and what we can do to stop it. Now, obviously, almost all of the book is fiction. Not much of it is fact. Because if a lot of it was fact, I'd probably be dead. So the two main antagonists, Muhammad Islam and Muhammad Ullah, which, disclaimer, this should be obvious, they're not real people, they are examples of what can happen when ignorance leaks too far into your mind, when you're only concerned about your belief, and you believe that everyone who does not have the same belief system as you believe they're equivalent to barbarians. They are examples of what happens when that ignorance clouds your mind. And Muhammad Ullah, who is supposedly a professor in the story, shows that even educated people are vulnerable to this kind of ignorance. The thing I was trying to spread through the story is, learn about other religions. Don't just believe in your own, but also empathize with others and educate yourself about other religions. That was the kind of message I was trying to spread. And on every single day I wrote the book, I had some up and down motivation, increasing or decreasing in the book depending on my motivation level. But the inspiration I had throughout all of this story, the driving force that led me to write not just this book, but the predecessor, was the moment that changed that changed all our perspectives on the religion of Islam. On September 11th, 2001. On that day, hijackers killed 3,000 people.
Speared through the building like a fireball.
They did something no human would ever do. Killed thousands of people in the name of God. They are examples that ignorance can brainwash you. It can manipulate you into doing horrible things that no person in their right mind would do. And even on the last day that I wrote that book, I heard a lesson. I realized something new. The last word I wrote in that book was written on September 11th, 2021. Exactly 20 years after that event that completely changed our views on Islam. My source of inspiration was the fact that I felt that others have to educate ourselves about others' religions. We have to educate ourselves about culture so we don't end up like these terrorists. Obviously, those are the extremes, but we don't want to be ignorant about each other so that we can live in a peaceful society and live in harmony instead of constantly arguing about each other, instigating wars, killing people, and ultimately bringing death and chaos upon our world. That is why I wrote my niece, to prevent this. And I probably repeated the phrase, that is why I wrote my niece, followed by something about empathy over and over. But that just shows how much I want to emphasize this phrase. So, on September 11, 2001, once again, I finished writing that book, and I came back to the event that started it all, and the fact that my uncle almost died in that event. That is why I was inspired to write Glove, and in fact, I wrote that in the first few pages of it. And then, I felt like Glove was incomplete. It was an analysis of real-world events, but I didn't feel like, one, it didn't have a good writing quality. I mean, what do you expect from something written by a 6-year-old, but still. But two, I also felt like it didn't convey a lesson well enough. And that's why I wrote Monies, to convey the lesson that I failed to convey in Love better. So, I hope that everyone standing in this crowd right now, if they aren't already, should educate themselves about other religions and should practice a doctrine of religious tolerance instead of alienating others based on their religion. We should all love each other no matter what our religions or belief systems are, and no matter where we come from. Thank you.
Thank you, Subarno, for sharing your experience with us. Subarno has a flight to catch, so let's move ahead with his book unveiling.
Stay here with me. Say Tata to Papa.